All right, let's talk about Stetson Bennett, who had, in many ways, a disastrous performance against the Chargers for the Rams. He also, in some ways, though, had a good performance, and maybe there's reason for optimism as well, which might sound strange, but I'll get into why I say that. I mean, I'll just say it right off the bat. He was bad in this game. For sure, he was bad in this game. Let's talk about why he was bad in this game. This play, perfect example. He had just entered the football game right here, started the day as the third string quarterback, and Stafford didn't play, so second quarterback in here. What you're going to see is that the Chargers didn't just play, cover 3 zone all game. They mixed it up a little. Right here, they're going to have a player blitz. So, okay, let's see how Bennett reacts to the blitz. Right when this play begins, blitz comes in, Bennett says, okay, no problem. I'm just going to throw it towards the blitz. That's what you're supposed to do, right? Yeah, typically that is what you're supposed to do, because usually if there's a blitz coming from that side of the field, there's now going to be an open guy on that side of the field. So Bennett makes the throw, makes the read. That totally makes sense. All this stuff worked at the college level. It should work at the NFL level. Here's the issue. Watch how long that ball stayed up to the point where that was just a dropped pick six. I mean, that's what that was. That was a pick six that should have been a pick six if it wasn't dropped. So Bennett kind of learning the lesson the hard way of guys in the NFL are really good. And to make this throw, you have to get it there in a hurry. And if you don't have the biggest arm, which Bennett doesn't, you have to throw it earlier. You have to find a way to get it there a lot quicker. Also, this one, which was just, again, this is very early on into this play, into this game, right? I mean, you see it, it was literally just 2 plays later, this play would happen, where watch what's going to happen. Bennett's going to take the snap, he's going to run a play action, and then rolls out towards the bottom of the screen, even, shows off his athleticism a little bit. A better runner than he gets credit for. He can move a little bit. That is something that's part of his game. So, okay, gets outside the numbers right here, and it's a little bit off screen right now, but off screen, there is a receiver who appears to be somewhat open, getting close towards the sideline that Bennett likes and he wants to throw to. But when he does, he completely forgets about the defender right in front of it, and another just dropped interception. So Stetson Bennett immediately enters the game in his first NFL game and nearly throws multiple picks. I mean, that's a disaster. And part of me wonders if just the nerves took over a little bit. He's playing in his first NFL game. I know he's played in a lot of college games, but there still are some, it still is important and still different at the NFL level. The amount of money you make at the NFL level, obviously performing well here, could mean a lot for him. Total speculation, but again, given how poorly he started, it's totally possible that he just kind of, floundered a little bit because of some pressure. However, I actually thought that he went through some really good stretches in this game. We'll start off with this play. To be honest, making a film study about the positive parts of his game is going to be a little bit tougher because it really wasn't necessarily him making super incredible highlight reel level plays. It was more so him just doing the little things right consistently. Something like this. Zone coverage, you have a receiver running a quick slant route. Okay, well, let's see what happens. Watch how Bennett takes the snap, looks in that direction. You have an open receiver. And, when I evaluated Bennett, I believe I had him as my favorite quarterback that was sort of these kind of guys who I felt like were only going to be backups at best, in that tier. Bennett was the guy who I kind of liked. Because I did see some Brock Purdy level upside, and this is going to kind of be exactly that, where, hey, it's a good situation, you have a receiver who's open right now, and Bennett makes the throw quickly and makes a very accurate throw. The reality is, he was doing this very consistently. I mean, if you took out his bottom 5 plays of this game, you'd think this was a great performance from him. I really felt like he had I don't know, it was one of those situations where he had a high batting average in this game. He really did. Does that make up for the errors he had early on in the game? No, it doesn't. He had a bad game, but if you're willing to write off the mistakes early on as just him getting flustered, maybe you could actually be optimistic by this performance. This one's another one. There were times when he had to push the ball down the field. Like I said, not the biggest arm. I mean, again, the negatives are the negatives with Bennett. He doesn't have the biggest arm. He's 25 years old. He's, an older player coming out of college. But what he doesn't have in those areas, he makes up for in his ability to make reads quickly and be able to run an offense very well, which I thought he did. Again, 3rd down and 10, you see the route on the screen, it could get open. Bennett's going to take the snap. He looks in that direction and doesn't start off looking in that direction too. That was either his second read or he was just trying to not give away what he was doing right away. There is a window, so can Bennett hit that window? Yes, he can. He throws that one exactly where he wanted to throw it and timed it perfectly as well. So really, this was the majority of the game, I thought. The majority of the game was him hitting these types of plays. It's just there were those negatives early on, and there were a couple, really 2, I thought, key negatives that happened even in the otherwise very good stretch. Like something like this is a good example where it's going to be a play action. He's going to roll out towards the top of the screen. That's the way that this is going to work. Watch how when Bennett runs this play action, he is going to roll out in that direction. There's a defender who wasn't blocked on the edge, or was a little bit blocked on the edge, I should say. Tight end starts off blocking him a little bit and then runs a route. This is all by design. This is how this play should work. And, worst case scenario, you throw the ball away right here. I think Bennett sees something down the field that he wants to throw to, but it's not developed yet. But it doesn't matter. If you don't have time to make the throw in that direction, you don't have time, run a couple yards up and then just throw the ball out of bounds and you're good. Instead, Bennett, he just, I guess, was hoping that the edge rusher wouldn't tackle him and would be nice to him. I don't know what you thought was going to happen there, Stetson. Like that's what those guys do. That's what they're paid for, is to tackle you. You got to be careful there. So that was just a weird play, and definitely something that's, a rookie mistake that you do see rookies make pretty frequently, actually. But again, when you're an older rookie who wasn't a hyped up draft pick, you kind of have to be good in a hurry if your teams are going to actually latch on to you, and if you're going to actually get decent playing time. Also, this was just bizarre. Like, I don't get what was going on of his pocket presence in this game. So it's 3rd down and 7 right here, and watch what's going to happen. Right off the bat, there's a disaster. Pressure comes right away. He has to step up. Okay, pause it here. This is a tough situation. Ideally, in a perfect world, if he could flip the ball to one of the players who are underneath, maybe this could be, maybe they could run forward and pick up a 1st down. All right, I can see the logic here. But obviously, you have to be aware of the defensive lineman who was right behind him right now, and Bennett knew he was stepping aside of him. And I'm just going to have to assume Bennett is not used to these interior defensive linemen being as fast as they are in the NFL. Obviously, they're a lot slower in college. Because watch how he steps up and then tries to throw it, and that was ruled an incomplete pass, not a fumble, but still, that's a tough play, Bennett. It just is, and it's something that he has to learn from and has to grow from. So, and again, it's unfortunate because when you're when you were a day 3 pick, you don't get the time that day 1 picks get, right? That's just not how it works. That's the world you live in as a quarterback who wasn't as hyped up. You got to be Brock Purdy. You got to come in and just work right away. You got to be at least like Gardner Minshew, who came in and showed some nice stuff right away. If you're going to be able to actually get significant playing time. Really, the only ways you get significant playing time are you do that, or someone gets injured ahead of you, or maybe multiple people get injured ahead of you to make it work. So I think you can see why I'm a little conflicted by this evaluation, because there's no denying there were some disastrous plays. I showed 4 just straight up disastrous plays, I think, by Bennett, but I probably could have showed 15 really good plays from Bennett, and those plays, he was hitting them consistently, throughout. But the reality is, if he's going to make a couple of those mistakes, then it doesn't matter if you're a decent game manager. You can find decent game managers who aren't going to make those mistakes. So he has to clean that up. If you're willing to write off those early mistakes saying he just got flustered, then perhaps he is, it's not as big of a deal. And then I would probably say this was a fine performance, but I still wouldn't say it was a great performance. But there is reason for optimism. Again, the goal isn't to be a good preseason performer. The goal is to get the mistakes out of the way early on, and then hopefully only the good stuff is left later on. Is that going to happen with Bennett? I have no idea, but he's a very interesting player and a very interesting evaluation. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.